And raised in church my whole life, I've always believed in God, always believed in Jesus, but things were good. I didn't really need them, I was good on my own until September the 24th of 1991. It was a Tuesday afternoon. I was on my way to work. It was raining really hard. An 18-wheeler pulls over in my lane. He hits my car, knocks me across the median into oncoming traffic. 2 other cars hit me, and at 1:45 that Tuesday, they pronounced me dead at the scene. I'm lying there. It's raining. I could hear people around me. I couldn't see anything.
They
I don't
couldn't
remember.
find a pulse or anything?
They didn't. I could hear everything going on, but I heard a lady say, "He's too young to die," and then I heard a guy say, "He is dead." And
Were they doing CPR or anything?
they had done all their procedures, and I don't know what all that was. But when I heard him say he is dead, I heard a whole different. I heard nothing else there, but I heard a whole different voice, and he said, "Ask and you shall receive. Ask and you shall receive," 3 times. And I was lying there, and I knew that voice. First time I'd heard that voice, but I knew who it belonged to. And I said, "God, if you will save me and let me live, I'll live for you." Nothing came out here, but the heart connected. And through all of that, my back was broken in 9 places. I had a brain aneurysm. My skull had cracked and my head was swollen. This eye had loosened. I had 2 ribs broken, my arm, my shoulder. Physically, I was destroyed.
How old were you at that
I was
time?
23.
23.
Through all of that, to make a long story short, God healed me of every bit of that. The doctor said no way would I live, and then no way would I be able to have a viable life. Then they said there's no way I would ever feed myself, and I'm good at that. So like through all of that, God proved himself, and it was that day that I realized he not only loves people, he loved me. It changed my whole world.
What was your life like I'm sure you were in the hospital for a long time in rehab, and what was that like?
Well, I left the hospital against medical advice.
Now, how long were you in there?
4 days.
Only 4 days? With everything going on?
The day that there's a lady from my mother's church, she's really touchy-feely. And when she put her hand on you, it was there like for months. It's just dead weight there. She came into the room to see me, and I'm lying there, and she went to put her hand on my leg. And I didn't want that. And I moved my leg, and my mother said, "What did you just do?" And I was thinking, "Oh no!" In my mind, I didn't want her to know I moved my leg because of her. My mother said, "Did you just move your leg?" And I said, "Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, I did." And I moved it again, and I moved the other leg. And my mother ran to get the doctor, and I got up out of the bed, had all these wires hooked to me, and I started pulling some of them out. Oh, not good. It hurt. But I got up, and the doctor said, "You're not leaving." I said, "I'm leaving." I was hard-headed long before I met Jesus, and I'm still hard-headed today. But he healed me, and I was under doctor's care for 2 years, 2 full years.
Yeah, broken back. And there was part of your story that you talked about your mom, and she kind of knew, didn't she, that you had been in the accident?
Well, my mother and my brother were driving, and she heard on the radio, the announcer said, "Fatal car accident on Highway 2. Now, she said as soon as he said that, God spoke to her and said, "Ask and you shall receive." She looked at my brother. She said, "Lamar, that's Johnathan." He said, "Mother, that's not the direction he would have been going." But normally I would go the back road, but this time I took the main road. She said, "That's Johnathan." She went straight to the emergency room, made her way there, got there. I was in a holding room. They were cleaning me up for identification is what they were doing. And my mother went in. She said, "I'm Johnathan Bond's mother. He had the wreck over here on Battlefield Parkway."
And she didn't know that was real.
She had no idea except for God spoke to her. There had been no proof, but she knew that mother's intuition is a gift from God, And so the doctors came out and he said, "Ma'am, we did everything we could." And she said, "No, you didn't." would you pray with me?